You're listening to Potty Mouth Radio, the home of movies, music, television, and comedy. This podcast is filmed in front of a live studio audience and contains coarse language. Could it be any more spoilery about a 25-year-old sitcom? Hello everybody out there, and welcome back to the one where we watched a Friends Rewatch podcast, where this week we watched the one where Underdog gets away. How you doing, Noosk?
Good. Everyone out there?
Everyone out there. The listeners, they're out there. I mean, they're not in here.
Are they out there?
Let's talk about the one where Underdog gets away, which is the 9th episode of Friends. It aired on November 17th, 1994, and it's written by Jeff Greenstein and Jeff Strauss. The Jeffs are back together again.
The Jeffs.
And a little fun fact for you, this is the first appearance of Jane Sibbett as Carol, replacing Anita Barone from the one with the sonogram at the end.
Yep, the Carol we know and love.
Yes, and this is an odd-numbered episode, which sadly I think means that it's my turn to do the synopsis.
Excellent.
It doesn't seem fair, actually. I think that it should be your job every time.
Ugh, no. You're the one who came up with that concept. It's all on you.
Yeah, it was stupid.
Yeah, I did tell you that.
All right, let's do this then. All right, this is going to be actually really hard. There's a lot to squeeze in for 30 seconds on this one. Can I have 45?
What are you talking about? It's just the Thanksgiving episode.
Okay. All right.
Calm down, mate.
All right, here we go. All right, so it's Thanksgiving. It's the gang's first Thanksgiving together. Rachel wants to go shoop with her family. Joey has venereal disease. Chandler hates Thanksgiving. And Ross wants to talk to his unborn baby. But they all end up having Thanksgiving together because none of those things happen. Monica has to cook for everybody and do like 10 different kinds of everything, and she does not like that, and they have their first fight as a gang. Did I do it? Did I miss anything?
I mean, you didn't mention Phoebes, which is rude. But also, that fucking sound, get rid of it!
Well, I don't know what you're talking about.
Please, I'm serious. It's awful.
Yeah.
People don't want that in their ears.
People won't. I'll change it in post. It'll be fine. It's good.
You're saying that in your recording voice, so I know you're not going to.
No, what voice do you think I have? This is my regular voice.
What voice do you think?
My regular human voice.
Yeah, it's
a
not.
Succulent Chinese meal.
The American listeners won't get that.
They should. American listeners, if you haven't seen it, can you just stop this podcast right now and come back to it? Come back and listen. But go and Google succulent Chinese meal. It's the greatest Australian ever. Get your hands off my penis.
Maybe don't Google it.
That's so good. All right. But we're not talking about succulent Chinese meals today. We're talking about succulent Thanksgiving meals because this is the first Thanksgiving episode.
Indeed. Everyone is together.
That's right.
And that's the message of Thanksgiving.
So the cold open of the show, once again, we're in the coffee shop, which it's been a little while, actually. I feel like this is the first cold open in the coffee shop in a few weeks. And not only are we back in the coffee shop, I think this is the first time ever we meet the owner, Terry.
Yeah. The only time? I don't think Terry ever comes back either.
I feel like he's been mentioned by name, but did you just assume that Gunther was the manager?
Yes, and Gunther stays. I think Gunther becomes the manager. I don't know. Like, it's just weird.
Let's track it.
It's season one weirdness.
We'll get out the Terry tracker.
The Terry tracker. And there he went. Bye, Terry.
And it's Thanksgiving, and Rachel is asking for an advance so that she can go skiing with her family for Thanksgiving.
Shoop.
Call me naive. I've seen this plot play out a million times in different TV shows and stuff, and I've never actually understood it. Can you actually get an advance on a paycheck? Is that a thing that businesses are ever willing to do? I feel like I see it in sitcoms all the time where like, I already got an advance on it. Is that really a thing?
Well, you know when you purchased leave?
Yeah.
That's essentially an advance.
I guess.
Yeah, because you're buying your days off in advance.
Yeah, okay.
And same thing. But not with leave, just spending it.
Yeah, okay. That actually makes sense.
It's not a good way to live, though.
Thank you for clearing that up for me, Noosk.
I'm here. I'm happy to help. I'm doing the bare minimum.
That's true. You're sitting there under a blanket.
Yeah,
I made you a tea.
I'm cozy.
So then later on, we're in the coffee shop, and since Terry said no to an advance on her salary, now she's asking for advances on tips. Now, that is definitely not a thing. Rachel is the most entitled television character in history.
She's also terrible at her job.
She's bad at her job anyway, which is why Terry said no to her. He actually says, "You're a terrible waitress."
Yep. And then gives her examples.
Yeah, and then when she's like, "No, I'm not. Is anybody here need coffee?" And every single person in the cafe puts their hand up. That was pretty funny to me.
Yeah, same.
But like asking for an advance on tips now, like, come on, Rachel. Come on.
Come on. Come on.
Then Monica comes into the coffee shop to tell Ross that their parents are going to Puerto Rico for Thanksgiving, and Ross is shocked.
Yeah, why? Ross is so weird. Why is he so weird all the time? So he's like, how can they do that?
Yeah.
God, if our families were like, we're going to Puerto Rico, we'd be like, sweet. We don't have to do anything.
I know.
We'll just sit back and relax.
I've dreamt about
Would feel
going away
weird.
for Christmas, like a white Christmas
white
away,
Christmas.
like just us.
Oh, we're doing it. We're doing
with
it one day.
nobody else around. It sounds amazing. I'd love to
and
go
by
to
that
Japan.
you mean our children as well.
I guess. I'd love to go to Japan for Christmas, where they celebrate by eating KFC. That's my speed.
That's a no-go for me. Thank you very much.
And then Joey comes into the coffee shop wearing full-on makeup.
Yep.
Full makeup.
Yep.
Because he wants to be a model. He's got a job doing a model for a city health campaign. My favorite line from this episode is Phoebe telling him, "I hope you get Lyme disease."
But of course, Chandler has to make a comment on the fact that he's wearing makeup. And
Of course,
because men don't do that. It's like, well, it's actually part of his job anyway.
Yeah, of course.
Firstly, don't.
Actors wear makeup. They are all wearing makeup on this set right now.
Well, yes, but you're not supposed to know that.
I mean, in Chandler's defense, Joey does seem to be wearing an awful lot of makeup, like more than you would think.
Yeah, but if you're under harsh,
this.
like stage lighting or at a photo shoot or something, you need more.
I mean, so I'm a cameraman. I film people for a living. I don't make up anyone. But you know what? I've gotten very lazy.
Yeah, I was about to say, you're a very lazy
I also don't
cameraman.
light anything.
We know.
Cameras have gotten so much better these days. They've got the gain button, which I refer to as the internal light, which Topher, who used to co-host We Watch the Thing with me, we joke about that now. But it's got the internal light. You don't need makeup or lighting or any of that stuff.
Well, I'm a ballet teacher and I put people on stage and you do need makeup. So piss off, you lazy ass cameraman.
So Monica says that she'll host Thanksgiving since Ross is very upset about their parents being away.
And she'll do the mashed
She'll do the
with
mashed
lumps,
potatoes with lumps.
just like Mum makes. Ross, fucking grow up.
I love when she says to him, you know, it's not supposed to. And then she just stops herself and goes, I'll make it with the lumps.
But also, like, isn't he supposed to be the eldest in the group?
Yes, I
Yeah.
believe so. Well, him and Chandler, I guess, are the same age because they were at college together.
Yeah.
But they would be the eldest, and then Monica and Rachel. And I don't know if we ever actually establish where Phoebe sits age-wise.
She's timeless.
She could be anywhere between 18 and 35 in this first season.
She's just timeless.
Yeah.
She doesn't need an age.
Chandler, meanwhile, is boycotting Thanksgiving,
Mm-hmm.
and this obviously becomes a huge runner in the show. But this is the first mention of his hatred of Thanksgiving.
Well, it's purely for Rachel's benefit, because she's like, "What? Why don't you hate it?" And he's like, "Well, it all started," and the group's like, "Oh my god,
Yeah,
he's talking about his trauma," and it's really boring.
and so that means that everyone is not going to be celebrating Thanksgiving except for Monica, Ross, and Phoebe.
Yep. But then we cut across to Susan and Carol's apartment.
Yes.
Which I think it's the first time seeing that too, isn't it? We get a few scenes there over the seasons.
Yeah.
And he's there to pick up a dinosaur skull?
Yeah, yeah. And Carol's not there, so
Why is he picking it up from there? What?
I'm guessing he left it there from when he lived there.
Oh, because he moved out, right? 'Cause
Yes,
I was
he
like,
moved out.
Carol wouldn't pack that. Yes, good point. Oh, poor Ross, actually.
Yeah, poor Ross. And Carol's not there, so he has to deal with Susan, and she helps
Deal
him
with
look for it.
Susan. She's a fucking delight.
Oh, she's
Love
so
Susan.
good. This is a great scene, actually.
Yeah.
I love when she's like, "What does it look like?" And he's like a face without flesh on it. And he's looking through the bookshelf, and he goes, "You guys sure have a lot of books about being a lesbian."
And her response
Oh,
is
man.
so quick.
Well,
and
you have to
witty.
take a course, otherwise they don't let you do it. It's the way she says it as well.
Yeah.
My favorite thing about Susan is that she's so deadpan, but
Yes.
not in the way that we've come to think of deadpan. She's not like Aubrey Plaza. Like,
No.
she's got so much character, but she's just so sarcastic, especially towards Ross.
I think it's not even sarcasm because Chandler drips with sarcasm.
Yeah, true.
It's she just doesn't give a fuck,
Yes.
and we just we love that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good on you, Susan.
Oh yeah, because later in the scene she refers to Ross as Bobo the sperm guy and tells him that that's what they call the baby, because on the bookshelf he finds
no,
kids'
that's
books.
that's what they call him when they talk to the baby.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Because on the bookshelf, he finds kids' books, and he's like, "Who's reading this?" And it turns out that Susan is reading to the baby. And Ross is shocked about this. He thinks that this is like newfangled,
Yeah.
bloody hippie stuff. Was this just the 90s? Like, certainly by the time we were having kids, it was a pretty common thing, I
Yeah.
feel like.
I don't know. I wanted to know that myself actually. That
Yeah.
like, is it Ross being a skeptic about anything he perceives as like voodoo magic, like anything
Well, I
Phoebe
guess
dabbles in.
he's very scientific by nature.
But it's been scientifically proved, so that makes me think at that point,
Yeah,
that
maybe it
early
hadn't.
90s,
Yeah.
they didn't know that the baby could hear. Surely they knew that.
I don't know, man. The 90s were a wild time. We've said that.
And like they
so
can
many
see
times.
light and they can distinguish voices. Like
Yeah.
I remember our newborn, I started singing her a song I had been singing her in utero, and she like looked at me with kind of like a recognition,
Yeah.
and she was
yeah.
like 3 days old.
Yeah. Babies are wild.
Babies are wild.
So then we're at Monica's apartment, and Ross is he's having a whinge, as Ross does. He's saying he wants to talk to the
what?
baby.
Wait, are you saying Ross was whinging?
Ross was whinging. I know, it's shocking, isn't it?
Whoa.
He's saying that he wants to talk to the baby, even though he thinks it's absolutely ridiculous. And Phoebe tells him that she believes it and tells him that they should test it by putting his head in a turkey.
Because I love that this comes back later. Not this episode. Later. So good.
So then Rachel comes in and tells him that sadly she didn't make the money, so she won't be shooping.
Yeah, sorry. Poor Rachel. Meh.
Is shoop a skiing thing? Or is it just a rich white lady thing?
Look, as someone who is not a rich white lady herself, just a
And
white
also
lady,
doesn't ski.
and also doesn't ski, I cannot comment. I think it might just be a Rachel thing,
Yeah, okay.
but
Yeah.
you could ask our ski friends.
And then they give Rachel her mail, which has turned up, and she's a bitch about it. She's like, just put it on the table.
Yeah, put it on the table. It reminded me of when you were trying to propose to me, and you were like, "Don't you want to leave the house?" Because you wanted to like cook a nice meal
wanted
and
to
clean the
surprise
entire
you,
apartment,
yeah.
and I was like, "No, I'm sitting here. It's my one day off."
Well,
You even tried to rope my sister.
I
into
did.
helping
Well,
you.
first I was going to take you out for a nice dinner and propose to you. You made it clear that wasn't happening. So I was like, okay, I'll get her sister to take her out, and while she's out, I'll set it all up pretty. I went round to Topher's house, who was hiding the ring in his toilet cistern for me.
That better not be true.
And I brought it home, and you were a complete and utter mole, and I still proposed to
I
you.
know. You're such a good egg.
But so they finally give her mail, and in the mail is money, because they've all chipped in for Rachel.
I know.
Except for Ross, who owes Monica $20.
But also, like she says to Terry downstairs, I've taken this principled stand and I'm being independent and working, and so my family said, well, no, you're You're working, you pay for it yourself. And like, so that's life, Rachel.
Yeah.
Then you can't afford it.
Yeah.
Welcome to how the rest of us live.
Isn't it wild to think, though, that this was back at a time where all she needed was $100?
Yeah, actually.
I was like,
5 friends.
I was like,
shipping
you
in
don't-
$20.
yeah, I was
That
like,
doesn't
you
get
don't.
you anywhere now.
I know. I was like, Rachel, you don't have $100 in your account. Like, I know that you're a waitress, but you can't even set foot in a grocery store these days without spending less than $100. Without spending more than $100. Like, you need a bloody medical certificate because you have the sniffles. $135, thank you. Like, it's outrageous.
It is.
And she was able to go shooping with $100.
I
That's
know.
nuts.
Wild.
And this is when
inflation.
Chandler shares his Thanksgiving story.
And I love how he has to say, and that's when my parents told me they were getting a divorce.
Yeah.
And like, okay, early 90s, like, you know, so I assume for him that happened in the 80s. I don't know, it's just not really news anymore. Like 50%, man.
Yeah.
I'm not saying, like, my parents are divorced. I'm not saying it's not, like, you know, a huge life-altering event for a child or anyone, really. Like, it changes the way you see the world, but...
yeah. Just
like,
have some turkey, Chandler.
Just do what the rest of us do and eat some turkey.
Yeah.
Eat too much turkey and, you know, maybe some chips and chocolate later.
So then we're at the train station and Joey sees an attractive woman and he goes to chat to her, of course. Why is he dressed so nice?
Yeah, I said that to you. Like, I get that they're trying to, show winter.
Yeah. I mean, I love his outfit. I wish that I had the
Autumn.
fashion sense to wear it.
But I just don't buy that Joey could afford that nice coat.
Yeah.
And the nice scarf. And yeah, it was very cozy.
It was super cozy. I really wish I could wear it. And so he's chatting to this girl that he used to work with when he was a perfume guy at the mall.
Yep. Which he does later again.
Does he? I don't remember that.
Remember when he's the cowboy and he sprays the man fume and then there's another cowboy on the same floor?
Yeah, now I recall.
Yep. Anyway.
And there is actually a really well-written line here that I think could work very well in a rom-com when, he smells the perfume and he says, "What are you wearing?" And she looks at him and goes, "Nothing." I think it's really clever.
Really?
Yeah, I do.
Oh,
yeah.
Your standard of clever is really low. I think it's just like Joey putting a line on. Oh. You smell really good. Like he's just saying that. He's just being a creepy Joe. Creepy Joe.
Oh, wait. So that's how you read it?
Yeah.
And that she's saying she's not wearing anything as in...
Yeah.
Oh.
It's either that or, pheromones.
I think you misunderstood the joke. I think she's saying nothing as in, like, she's flirting. Like, as in, I'm not wearing any underwear.
But he said smell.
I think you misunderstood the joke.
I think you are reading too much into it and you're like, so clever. Such good writing.
No.
And it's friends. Calm down.
You're definitely misunderstanding.
Okay. Righto.
But then she remembers that she has to do something. Leave.
Yep. And he turns around and there's a poster
yeah.
of him. He made the cut.
And it says there's something Mario isn't telling you. He has venereal disease.
Do you remember at our wedding when we got all our groomsmen personalised cufflinks?
Yeah.
And we were like, what the fuck is this? Because one was VD and one was BM. Oh my God. And Topher's was the only normal one.
Yeah, yep. And then we get what I think is the first time this happens in Friends, and I don't remember this ever happening again, really. We get a montage with a pop song. We get shots of Joey's poster all over the city while the police song, "Don't Stand So Close to Me," plays.
Yeah, I was like, is this the police?
And it goes for quite a long time. And even when you think it's over, it keeps going. Because at a certain point, you get maybe like 30, 40 seconds of shots of the poster around the city. Then you cut to the coffee shop and the guys are all mocking Joey. They're doing that thing you love where they're piling on puns. You know, like laughter can be infectious. And then we go back to more montage again.
I do think this happens again, and I can't remember where.
Yeah.
We'll find it again as we watched. But it definitely there is a montage. Something happens over the city, or
Yeah, okay. Even
is
more
it when
than
the baby goes missing on the bus?
Yeah, right. I do recall that one.
I don't know.
Even more than the montage, what really struck me was the pop song, because
Yeah.
very rarely on Friends do you get stuff like that. I mean, I know that we get Chris Isaac later on in the series when Ross and Rachel are, getting together and stuff, but it really struck me as very odd when we get a police song in this episode.
And they use that song a few times, so it just becomes like, oh my god, we get it.
Yeah.
Ross and Rachel song.
Yeah.
But yeah, having like Sting singing, like,
Yeah.
it was weird.
And also, it's a very funny use of the song. I know they're using it, about Joey, don't stand so close to me because you're all diseased up and whatnot. That's a creepy song. You know what that song's about, right?
Underage.
Yeah,
something?
it's about a teacher who is
God.
like turned on by one of his students and is like, don't stand so close to me because,
Oh, what a
I
hero.
got that bone. Yeah.
Please don't ever say that again.
Yeah, it's a creepy song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So finally the montage ends and we're in the apartment and Joey announces that he is going to join them for Thanksgiving because his family thinks he has VD and he's no longer welcome.
He's being disowned.
Which is it's pretty funny,
Yeah.
actually.
I don't know, it feels very, like, Catholic.
Yeah.
And then there was that weird shot of, like,
The
Macy's
like
Day
B-roll
parade?
of the parade. It's like what you mentioned with the hockey, with the B-roll of the hockey, but this feels even weirder because it's not part of the scene.
No.
They haven't mentioned the parade. I mean, we know it's Thanksgiving.
Yes.
It's just this weird, random, like 5-7 second shot of the parade with no music or it's really bizarre.
it's almost like a dream sequence, but only for 5 seconds.
Yeah. And then we cut back to the apartment and Ross, you're not going to believe this. He's having a whinge.
Oh my God, Ross is having a whinge.
You having a laugh?
You having a laugh? You having a whinge?
Because Monica's cooking Thanksgiving meal and he's there moping
Such
around.
a fucking dick
it's
about
not
it.
the same without Mum in the kitchen.
Oh my God. You're such a loser, Ross. Your mum's living her best life in Puerto Rico. Let her go. You're a grown-ass adult. Oh, it's just pathetic. And, like, what annoys me more than anything, apart from Ross being a complete loser in this scene, is the way, like, Monica is slaving away.
Yeah.
Cooking a Thanksgiving feast is not just a quick, like, chop up some vegetables and throw it together in a pan. It takes hours and hours of work.
Yes.
And he's like, oh, it's not the same. Really? What have you done, Ross? what did you contribute?
Yeah,
you owe her $20 for Rachel's present. You haven't, like, I assume, paid for any groceries. You haven't put any labour in. So what's your contribution, Ross? Oh, sorry, whinging.
Greasy hair.
Ugh. Yeah, well, they didn't ask for that.
Rachel is very excited because she's booked her tickets. She won't stop shooping, which Chandler tells her she must stop shooping.
And I agree with Chandler.
And then Joey comes in saying, I've got a question. I don't see any tater tots.
I know. Once again, they're so fucking rude to her.
They're all really entitled.
Yeah,
And
you go buy the tater tots, Joey.
Yeah.
You're a paid actor right now. Come on.
So then he guilts her saying, oh, well, it's bad enough I can't be with my family because of my disease.
That is funny, though. Because he doesn't actually have the disease.
And then even Phoebe starts, because Phoebe's actually helping in her defense.
Yes.
But she whips the mashed potatoes, which is wrong because Ross wants them lumpy.
Fuck off, Ross.
And
I would throw the mashed potatoes at his head at that point.
Yeah. And when Monica tells her she did it wrong, Phoebe goes, oh, I thought we could have them the way my mum used to make it, before she died.
They're such shits. They're all shits.
They're all shit.
Yeah. And Monica's just like accepting of them all because she's like, well, I'm the mum of the group,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
you know, she'll like bend over backwards and break herself to please them, and then when it all goes, one thing goes wrong and it
Yeah.
all falls apart, she'll lose her shit at them.
Yes. Just like a true mum.
Just like a true
Yeah.
mum. We've all been there, Monica.
Ross leaves because he wants to go talk to his unborn baby. And then Chandler rushes into the room to tell them that Underdog got away.
Got away.
Underdog got away.
Yep.
I find it really odd. The Underdog getting away thing is a very odd part of this storyline to me. It doesn't
Why?
really affect much at all. I don't know if it's a story that really happened in New York.
Yeah, maybe it's because we're not American.
Maybe.
Like,
Spoiler alert, we don't really have parades here. Like, we don't-
spoiler alert, we don't have Thanksgiving.
Well, I mean, that's true. I mean, the only parade I can think of is Mardi Gras. Like, we don't have, like, a Christmas parade or anything.
Yeah, but there's no, like, giant blimp-sized balloons or anything. It's just, like, floats and,
Yeah.
you know, people with, like, a ton of makeup and glitter and...
Yeah. I mean, we have a hot air balloon festival, which is pretty sick.
That's just here in Canberra, though, honey.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is fun, though. And we have the sky whale.
Yeah, which is if you guys don't know, you should Google Canberra sky whale.
Don't Google it.
It's a giant hot air balloon shaped like a whale with titties. It's got like 3 big old titties hanging off
Yeah,
it.
does it represent like 3 different like marsupials? Or
I
something,
don't know,
or-
but
I don't
it's
know.
kind of cooked. You should Google
It
it.
is totally cooked, and yet a national treasure.
Yeah, I mean, it would be a huge thing if the sky whale got away.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. We would definitely go up to the roof to see that.
yeah.
So maybe this is the same thing.
Maybe it is, because they all run up to the roof and they're like, an 80-foot inflatable dog loose over the city? How often does that happen? Almost never. I love the mention of almost never, implying that it does sometimes happen.
But unfortunately, we don't get like a cool green screen or anything like that, or even a different set like on the
Yeah,
roof.
we don't get to see the roof.
Yeah, not until later seasons. But we go to Carol and Susan's apartment, and Ross is being awkward because Ross can never open himself up to anything he doesn't fully believe in or understand. He is the most close-minded person, and he gives me the shits.
He does have one of the funniest lines of this episode, though, when he's trying to talk to the baby. And, you know, he's kind of like, straight, like, where do I do it? And he's like, well, you know, there's one place I can think of that has a certain acoustical advantage.
Yeah, that's not how that works.
I mean,
Acoustical is...
in his defense, though, I'm pretty sure I thought the same thing at first. Wasn't there a point where I had to, like, check something?
Yes, Jesus, the story. Our second-born child had flipped breech.
Yeah, second. Oh, that's right. Yes, and I had to try to get her to move with a torch.
Yes, I was telling the story. It's my body.
You
Shut
go,
up.
You go.
So there's lots of, you know, tried and true methods online. And one of those is that because babies can see light, they might follow it. Like a
Yeah.
fetus might actually
Yeah.
flip back down because they're just like, oh, cool, a light. So we had tried lots of different things, lots of different techniques. But I was like, oh, there's this one. And I was like, do you want to go get a torch? And like we like made our room dark so that like there was no other lights interfering. Like there was just like a point of light that
Yeah.
she could follow. But you started towards my crotch.
I mean,
And I was like, what are you doing? And you were like, shining a light up. I'm like, well, I have a closed cervix for one.
I don't know.
Light doesn't shine up there. It's not a chamber. You're meant to do it around the stomach.
How am I supposed to know that? That doesn't. You know, all I'm saying is I understand Ross's logic here.
Ross is dumb, and therefore you are being dumb.
Let me say too, she looks way too pregnant in this scene. She's meant to be what? Maybe like 4 months. Like this is only
Yeah.
episode 10.
You can start feeling kicks from 4 months. but like not everyone does.
No, but like that's
But it's
exactly
also
right.
her.
But
It's
she
also
hasn't.
her first pregnancy.
No, but
so-
that's exactly right. She hasn't felt a kick yet. She looks like 8 months pregnant in this scene.
No,
like it's
no,
the
she
silliest belly ever.
No, she doesn't. She doesn't look 8 months pregnant.
She does. It's silly.
Oh, you're silly. You know nothing about women.
I mean, yes, that's true. I don't know where to shine the torch.
Yeah.
So then we cut to the hallway. They're done on the roof. They're coming down. They're all kind of like... I really like this scene because this is the one thing about the Underdog storyline that works for me. They're all kind of at the same time so excited about what they saw and also kind of bummed out about it. I think it's Phoebe who says, did they have to shoot Underdog down? Like, they're so... they just saw this amazing thing, but it's all over and done with now. I actually really like this scene.
I don't know. It just feels like friends being friends, which is nice.
Well,
But it's the next scene for me that I'm like, this is people being real people.
when nobody has the keys.
Yes.
And they're stressing. Got
Yes.
the keys?
They lose their mother chucking minds
Oh
about
yeah,
it.
and Joey's like, I think I have keys in our apartment, and Rachel's like, well, go keys. Well, that tone won't make me go any faster. I love that because it's simultaneously out of character for Joey, and yet it actually works.
Yeah,
it's when he tells her off like that, like, well, that tone won't make me go any faster. I really like it.
Yeah, someone has to tell Rachel off.
So then we're back to Carol's apartment, and Ross has finally started talking to the baby. But he's not reading it a story or anything. He's just rambling about his work and his studies.
And we're at like college and
Yeah.
oh my god.
And you have no idea what I'm saying because, let's face it, you're a fetus. And he starts to mock singing in her stomach until Susan walks in.
Yeah.
And that's when he starts legitimately singing.
Because he's still being a competitive.
Because he's petty and competitive.
Yeah. Yep.
He's competitive.
He's competitive. Ah.
Get it? See what I did there?
Yeah, I didn't need you to explain it.
And when he sings, the baby kicks.
Magic. TV magic.
Yeah. And I really like when all three of them kind of join together. It doesn't happen often in this show, but Susan rushes over and I actually really like it. She doesn't get jealous or mad at him or anything.
No.
She goes, of course, to put her hand on Carol's stomach, and I really like the way he slaps it away. But then she puts it back, and, they're all just standing there with, hands on the... And even Ross is having a bit of a joke about it. He's like, I'm your daddy, the one without any breasts. And they all laugh together.
Yeah,
it's really
cute.
nice.
Yeah. I feel like maybe that's something the Friends showrunners, I don't know, writers could have pushed a little more. Like,
Yeah.
we do get a little bit of Ben being raised by Ross here and there,
Yeah.
but it's always like a shared arrangement. Like, there's, it would have been nice to see more teamwork. I think that could have been good for a lot of 90s kids watching the show.
For sure. Yeah.
And some of the adults watching the show. And then we are back in the hallway, and Joey has too many keys and he never has the right key. And it's just not working, and things are escalating poorly.
Yeah. Yeah. Ross comes along and he's like, locked yourself out? And
like, way to say the worst thing in that situation. Yes, Ross.
yeah.
And like, your dinner will be ruined. I'm sure you'll be sad.
Yeah.
Never mind the person who did all the work.
Yeah. And Monica and Rachel get in a real fight.
Yes.
Rachel's like, well, why didn't you get the keys? And Monica's like, well, because everything is my responsibility.
Yes.
Like everything. Like nobody cares what kind of potatoes I get. Like, and she starts ranting and raving, and her voice is getting progressively higher and higher.
And Courtney Cox does that so
She does it so well. And then Chandler jumps in with, okay, Monica, only dogs can hear you now. Which, like, I think he's being a dick.
Yes.
Like, she is fully justified in being upset here.
Yes.
But at the same time, it is such a funny line. I can't help but laugh at it.
Maybe it's an inside thought.
Yeah.
But I love the whole, got the keys? I said got the keys.
Yes. Yeah.
Because, everyone's done that.
Yeah. So they finally get in, and the
Smoke
apartment is filled with smoke.
Everywhere, yeah.
All three kind of potatoes are ruined.
And
The
I
turkey's
just feel
burned.
for her. It's so shit when you have put so much hard work into cooking.
Oh, yeah.
And it burns. It's
And then
fucking bullshit.
the first thing any of them says, and the audience laughs at it, it's meant to be a joke, but when Ross says, this doesn't smell like mum's, It makes
Yeah.
me so angry.
It
Like, I
makes
know
me
that
want
it's
to
written as a
smack
joke,
him
but
in the face.
yeah, I actually don't find it funny.
No.
But I mean, it works though, because then it leads to Monica losing it.
Yes.
You know, like, I can't remember which one of it is, but one of the others starts going on about how, this is nobody's first choice. And that's when Monica loses it. And
Yep.
she's like, well, then why have I been doing all this?
Yeah, yep. Yeah, to say this is no one's first choice is so insulting to the person who was trying hard to make it special for you.
Yeah.
Not for them, for you.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
I sound like that SNL
This
skit.
poor white lady is doing this for you.
For you. Attention teachers and students.
But I really like this scene. I actually think that this is a well-written, dramatic scene in Friends, because I don't
100%.
think there's a single joke in Monica's diatribe here. Like,
No.
I don't remember us having an audience laugh, which is it's kind of a bold thing for a sitcom to do in episode 9 in the 90s, for it to give us like a full 30-40 seconds of actually caring about the characters without a joke being inserted. Like, the scene doesn't even have a button on it. She just loses it, and then they all just kind of stand there for like a good maybe 10 seconds in
As
silence.
they fucking should.
Yeah. I actually
I
think it's a
disagree with you.
well-executed scene. You do?
No, not that it's not well executed. I disagree with you that 90s sitcoms, they felt very free to do that if the woman was being hysterical.
Interesting.
Yeah, so you can let jokes go for a sec if the woman is like, she's reached breaking point and she's like, life is so unfair, you're all shit, rah, rah, rah. And then you have like the lesson of the episode come.
Yeah.
When we should all appreciate the women in our lives and being together.
I don't know that that's what happens in this episode.
It is.
But we then get a very strange scene. I think this is completely out of place, and I don't understand what happens here. They're all depressed. Rachel looks out the window and she sees that ugly naked guy is taking his turkey out of the oven.
Yeah.
And they all rush over to the window, I guess, to laugh at ugly naked guy, and they realize that he's got ugly naked gal over there.
Yeah.
And then there is just this bizarre turn.
It's nice that they have each other.
Yeah, where they all
That's
just...
exactly... Did you not just hear what I said before?
I guess.
Being together
guess.
is
The
what's
lesson
most
it's nice
important.
that they have someone. And they all just stand there and they kind of weirdly smile at the window. It's such a fucking weird scene. I did not...
It's Friends doing an emotional beat. That's why it doesn't land.
It doesn't land at all for me. It's so bizarre.
It's so bizarre you didn't even get the message.
Yeah. I mean, what does land is the next scene where then we cut to later on and Chandler he's like, I'll carve, and it's a grilled cheese sandwich, and he's like, do you want light cheese or dark cheese? And I think it's Ross says, I don't want to know about the dark cheese. Like,
Yeah, that's yucky.
yeah. But my favorite bit of this scene is when, they pick the sandwich and they're like, okay, well, Phoebe's, you got to make a wish. And Joey, you got the bigger half. What did you wish for? The bigger half.
The bigger half, yeah.
Of course Joey wished for the bigger half. I
would
love
too.
that.
I love sandwiches.
And then we get what I think actually does work as a final kind of emotional beat. And I'm curious to hear what you think of this, because I know you hate Sappy Chandler.
I hate Sappy Chandler.
But Chandler then gives a speech about how, he's the only one who enjoyed this Thanksgiving, and, it's nice for him because, he's with everyone, and I actually quite liked that Chandler moment.
Yeah.
And Chandler also throughout the entire episode was the one person who wasn't demanding stuff from Monica.
True.
So I liked this ending to the episode.
Yeah, I don't mind it. It's not too sappy Chandler for me, but I think he still delivers it in a nice way without. Oh, I hate when he gets the sappy Chandler smile and it changes his voice. Ugh.
Yeah. But we do, of course, end on a joke, because the tag of the episode is Joey at the train station. and he's snuck up to the poster of Mario and his VD, and he just continually rips off the bottom half that says VD, and it keeps revealing worse and worse stuff underneath until finally he gets to winner of 3 Tony Awards, and he leaves it and smiles and walks away.
And it's like anyone can see that that's ripped several times. But okay.
And also, we saw a montage. There's posters all over the fucking city. Like, I think at one point we literally see the poster on a blimp or like a skyscraper in Times Square. Like
on Skywhale.
Yeah. All right. So first Thanksgiving episode of the series.
Yep.
It's memorable for that reason alone. How are you scoring this one?
7 out of 10.
Yeah, okay. I didn't love this one. I'm going a 6 out of 10. I think it's got some really good moments in it, but overall...
Ross annoys me a lot. 6 out of 10.
Yeah.
Never mind.
I mean, speaking of score, are you ready for a lightning round?
Can't believe you're ahead of me.
I am so far ahead of you.
What? You're supposed to... Never mind. You don't even get it. You're not a true Friends fan.
What am I meant to say?
I'm so good at lightning rounds.
I am so good at lightning rounds.
Nah, the moment's passed.
All right. I don't think any of us is going to get any further ahead or behind on this one, though, because my card, at least, is extremely easy. Here is your 1-point question. Ross's son goes to school with the son of which famous rock star?
How funny that would come up after this episode.
I was just thinking the same thing. It is indeed Sting.
Ross can. Future episode right there. But anyway, everyone's seen everything. All right, here's your 1-point question. Janine, the dancer that moves in with Joey, was from which country?
Australia.
Yeah.
That's Elle Macpherson, my friend.
Why are you talking like a Kiwi?
And she likes babies, fancy babies.
You know you don't have to do an accent because your accent is Australian.
I don't believe I was doing an accent.
You did, and it was Kiwi, and it was weird.
All right, your 2-point question. Who does Rachel sell her Sphinx cat to?
Gunther.
Yeah, it's Gunther.
Okay, here's your 2-point. What is the name of the superintendent of Monica's building?
Traeger.
Yeah. Excuse me, Mr. Traeger.
Oh, Mr. Oh, yes. Okay, I'm very sorry. I can't believe we haven't seen Traeger yet on this rewatch, actually.
Yeah, he's probably coming up, actually.
Yeah. All right, well, there you go. That means I'm still ahead, which is
bullshit. Ugh.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Truly excellent.
All right, night, everyone.
Yes, you're sleepy now. You've had your tea. You've got your blankie on.
Yes.
Next week, we will be watching The One with the Monkey, which I'm looking forward to rewatching because I remember as a kid loving Marcel.
Same.
On rewatches since, I'm like, what the fuck is Marcel? And I'm curious to watch it with this more analytical eye and think about it more deeply because I just don't get it.
It's stupid.
Yeah.
I remember as a kid thinking that was the coolest thing I had ever seen. And then when I found out you can't get helper monkeys. Anyway, save it for the episode.
Save it for next week. All right. Well, thank you very much for listening to us. If you enjoy what you've listened to, then, give us a rating on Spotify or iTunes or wherever it is you're listening to this. Tell your friends. Tell all your friends. If you want to help support us, you can do that at patreon.com/pottymouthradio and you'll get early access to episodes. You can probably listen to the rest of this season by now if that's what you want to do. So thank you very much, and we'll catch you next week with The One with the Monkey.
You must stop shooping.